Talkopolis, the social media TV network for your city.
Welcome to Nashville's Best. I'm your host, TJ Cates. We're here today with Trisha Brantley from the Hip Zipper. Hi,
Hello.
Trisha.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So I was really excited to learn about your store this week because I'm fairly new to Nashville.
Oh, welcome to Nashville.
Yeah, thank you very much. I like your name a lot, the name of your company. Now, how did you come up with that name?
Well, when deciding on a name, I recalled that the zippers on the side of 1940s dresses were on the hip, on the side, as opposed to being in the back. And the word hip and zip rhyme, and I think it would be easy for people to remember, so I decided to call it the Hip Zipper.
Well, it seems like it's working out.
Yeah.
Now, that's also your website address, correct?
Hipzipper.com, yes, sir.
And you're on Facebook? A lot
On
of
Facebook,
social media?
Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. We're on everything but the news.
I think that's great to use all this social networking.
Yeah.
So your customers, how do they find you? Just, are they local or are they from out of town?
I would say 85% of our traffic comes from out-of-towners who are visiting the Nashville area in general. And they find us on Yelp, they find us on Google. They'll just Google the best vintage clothing shops in Nashville, or maybe they've seen us in Southern Living magazine or Travel and Leisure or blogs. We get a lot of traffic from blogs.
So they know about you before they come to town, so you're like a destination shop for them.
The majority of the traffic is, and there's a lot of folks that are driven to the store. They're driven to East Nashville prior to coming to the store.
East Nashville's really cool.
And it's a very walkable area of Nashville, and so they happen upon us a lot as well.
Well, that's really good. Now, what is your, on the vintage clothing, what is your, like, say, the decades that it comes from?
We feature vintage clothing from the 1930s up to the early 1990s.
Yeah.
Kind of the grunge, Kurt Cobain decade,
yeah.
the plaids, the flannels, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes into your store, are they looking for something specific, or are they just going to kind of look around? Will they get something different every time they come into the store?
Yes to all those questions. There are folks who come in looking for costumes. There are folks who come in looking for key pieces to incorporate in their everyday wardrobe. There are folks who don't know what they're looking for, and they won't know it until they see it. There are folks who are looking for holiday dresses, for parties, for Christmas, for weddings, gifts for loved ones. There's a myriad of a cross-section of folks who will come in looking for different things. It's not one thing everyone's looking for.
So if they come in, say, once a month, they might find something different than was there before.
They do. We're continually stocking every week as we get new things in.
Now, do you also buy the products that you sell, or do you go somewhere and buy it?
We do not consign. We purchase everything outright. We get a lot of traffic of folks who are people who have relatives who've passed away, people who are just wanting to purge. They're moving on to the next phase of their life. They're cleaning out. They're moving. They're moving here. They're moving away. It's a lot of different sources, you know.
And I think with all the artists that are here now, it kind of gives them a really cool look. Everybody tries to get their own little style.
Yes.
So I imagine you're going to see some artists that come through Nashville.
Yeah, they'll come in and they'll get like one or two really key pieces, like a great hat, or a great pair of cowboy boots, or a great coat, a pea coat, or leather jacket, or a wonderful dress, or a 1930s nightgown, and then they'll make it their own. They'll repurpose it and style it their own.
Now, what about the film industry that's around here? Do you get anybody in that comes like that that's looking for period pieces?
We do. We've had a lot of film. We've had a lot of films made in the Nashville area and surrounding areas. We get a lot of wardrobe stylists who would rather not pull from Los Angeles and Atlanta and New York. They want to pull locally, and so I will get a lot of traffic from that, as well as videos, music videos, award shows, celebrity stylists who will come in looking for key pieces for the American Music Awards or the Grammys or the Country Music Awards or videos, you know, things like that. Yeah,
because not everybody can afford to go have these things built. I mean, just because they're old, I mean, the quality's probably so much better than some of the new things that are being sold.
They are. People took a lot more time in designing and constructing garments compared to what's mass-produced today and outsourced into other parts of the world.
So your wardrobe today, would I assume that this came from your store?
The boots are from the early 1960s, the dresses 1970s, and the tights are Old Navy.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So what all kind of items do you sell?
We sell dresses. If you can wear it on your body, we sell it. We sell
So you
men's
said-
and women's and children's clothing.
Oh, children's.
Yeah, we
How
have a
about that?
small, modest selection of children's clothing.
Now, you said something earlier today that there's a really good networking of other stores like yours where you kind of send people to other stores. Tell me about that.
There are, as of right now, there are over 20 vintage clothing stores in Nashville.
Yeah.
They don't all sell just vintage clothing. I think that's what sets us apart from some of the others, is that we don't sell records or furniture or new clothes or locally designed clothes. And those are things that other vintage clothiers will do to balance out their business plan and what they offer. But we've focused, since 1999, we've focused on nothing but vintage clothing.
That's really cool.
But I would say that we all offer different things. You're not all looking for the same coat or the same dress. You're talking about 1930 to 1990, and that's a lot of a time period. And people like different things. Some people love the 60s. Some people love the hippie 70s. Some people love the Great Gatsby 20s.
Yeah.
Everybody is drawn to vintage clothing for a different reason, but the common denominator is the same. They all want to be different.
Yeah, their style, their personal style.
Yeah.
Whether they're in the film or entertainment, music industry, or if they just want to wear something cool on the weekends.
And it's also a very green form of shopping. You're not
Very true.
contributing and having a huge footprint. You're repurposing, and you're keeping it out of the landfill. You're keeping it. We even have a free bin outside of the front door.
I bet that's
where
popular.
It is very popular among folks who redesign. They'll take a dress and they'll make a skirt out of it, or they'll take shoes. I had a girl who took several pairs of vintage shoes that I didn't want to sell anymore, and she repurposed them and made a bunch of different things out of them.
Really?
And she's tagged us on Facebook what
That's
she
great.
did with
Social
it.
media.
Yeah, but it keeps those things out of the landfill, and it keeps those things out of the dump. And we'll even have folks who are kind of, who are homeless, and they'll come in and they'll get just a flannel shirt, but it's
stay
always
warm.
there. It's always outside of our door every day we're open, and we're open 7 days a week, 11 to 7. So.
And tell us where you're located.
We are
exactly.
located at 1008 Forest Avenue. That's in the historic area, 5 Points of East Nashville, in between Main Street and 11th Street. We're right across the street from the Carnegie Library.
Yeah.
And we're sandwiched in between Red Door East and the 5 Spot.
So those are pretty popular, so people can find you pretty easily.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty
Okay.
easy.
Well, that's very good. Well, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again for tuning in today to Nashville's Best. I'm your host, TJ Cates, and we've had a pleasure here speaking to Trisha Brantley.